fantastic day. We're back again with more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And this time, but I am finally through Act 3, which is a major part of the game. So I felt like it 3 starts. And for most of the paths, like I mentioned in my ranking video before, it feels like a game changer. It feels like you've gotten just a different level of power. I do enjoy at least certain aspects of the Crusade system. I do like the armies and the units that you can build up. I like the way they get from playing through the regular game. So I absolutely stand by what I said. First and foremost, I want to be clear. For the most part, my playthrough has been going when it seems to be dropping because the game thinks that one of my forts is being taken when it's actually not. But usually, if you just wait for a demon army to come out and go ahead and let it take a fort and then defeat it, that clears that problem. Extremely annoying for me is, so you know, in your character bar, you can right click on a power to allow them to use range spells. Otherwise, they're just going to use whatever weapons are in their hands. But it feels to me, at least through Act 3, that a lot of the weapons that really assist you with spell casting are also melee weapons. Even though the vast majority of people using spellcasters, they're not going to be using these people in melee range. It's a lot of quarterstaffs and things of that nature. And so if I don't take the time to manually set Ember and Woljev to use their powers, they're going to rumble on into melee range when I haven't built up either one of them to really be able to withstand that. So very annoying. Definitely it affects my playthrough, but again, it's not breaking any quest. It's not preventing me from making any progress, things of that nature. And so overall, I would say based on my playthrough, that some other people have been happening though. Some of them sound to me like, like it's absolutely unacceptable. There has been a completely broken. As soon as you get into Act 3, if you're using a Lich. I haven't played through a Lich at Act 3 yet, so I don't understand all the mechanics, but basically the changes that the Lich Path makes to the Crusade system as far as how you get your units makes it so that it's unplayable and you basically have to turn on Auto Crusade. And then apparently that final huge transformation which makes 0 sense because the path, like my Lich Mythic Path breakdown and my Lich builds do better numbers than anything else. There were a ton of people who were crazy excited about being a Lich. So for that to be the path that's broken out of all the paths that's available is crazy. Bananas. And for anybody, that is crazy. And, you know, it's to the point that, you know, I'm disappointing to have an entire Mythic Path that is basically broken on a very core level. And that's on top of, from my experience, I've experienced a lot of different bugs, but none of them have stopped me from completing a quest. And none of them have been just so I'm getting, it's not cool. It's not cool. Now I will say, outside of the problems with Lich, I still maintain that this was a game that was release ready, right? I'm not putting this on the level of that last Fallout game where it's done. And there are definitely more issues in this game. They'll get these patches out. A lot of these issues would be fixed. And I just didn't want to come on here and pretend that everything's okay. It's not. Some people acceptable. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.